It's playtime. It's playtime. It's playtime. It's playtime. It's playtime with the Sleepy Boys.
Buddy,
Yes.
you know what my favorite thing about pumpkin pie is?
What? What is your favorite thing about pumpkin pie?
You don't need to refrigerate it.
That's true. Maybe that's true? I guess.
Yeah. My brother left this.
There are other pies, though, that you don't have to refrigerate.
Brandon, I'm pretty sure you would die if you had an unrefrigerated pie.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they spoil faster than other pies.
Yeah, but you pick it off the shelf, it's room temperature.
Oh, yeah. Guess I forgot about that.
So your attempt at being a dumbass just made you even more of a dumbass.
Oh, I heard a doggy, and that sounded like Gwen.
That is Quinn. She's barking at Jasmine, and now she's coming over here because I said her name.
Oh, shit.
Bucky.
Jasmine or the dog?
The dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
Billy. Oh, Billy.
Have I ever told you that's one of my bosses over at Illuminidal's like favorite thing to say?
What?
Oh, Billy. Oh, it's just constant. It's just constantly.
Yeah, the fucked up thing about the "Oh Billy" thing is, first of all, I learned it from
Cable guy.
Cable Guy, and I was in middle school, and we did it to make fun of one of our assistant principals.
What? You did that to make fun of an assistant principal?
So yeah, so when I was in middle school, we had this fucking asshole assistant principal. You know, like, you remember our APs from Friendswood High?
Oh yeah, I fucking do.
It was like that, but middle school level. So like, you already had less freedom than you do in high school, right?
Sure.
So we had this guy. First and foremost, look, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with this name, but it was just like the douchebag guy that he was had the first name had this first name, so the association. His name was Klaus.
Okay.
First name was Klaus, last name was Oglesby. And the thing
Oglesby.
No. See, but that's the thing is I'm like 98% sure. Oh man, I said his name on here. I'm gonna have to bleep that shit out.
No, it's fine. He won't ever hear this, or he's dead.
He's not dead. He was like in his mid 30s.
Yeah.
But,
he could have caught the COVID.
you're probably right. He lives in Texas, so.
Yeah, he probably caught the COVID and died.
Looking back on it, I'm like 99% sure that he is a pedophile.
You're not allowed to cut this out of the episode. I want this in.
So if I'm wrong and I called out my old assistant principal whose name I dropped, and he doesn't turn out to be a pedophile, but his life is ruined because we said something on this podcast, you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
All right, cool. So, but no. So what we did one time, so I had a friend whose name was William. He went by William. Everyone called him William. But
William.
one day he got sent to Oglesby's office, and you know, apparently he was having some shit going at home in his home life. He didn't want to talk about it with anybody.
William or Oglesby?
William.
Okay.
And William was sitting in Oglesby's office, and he's like, you know, Billy, you can tell me anything. Like, this is a safe place. There's no judgment in here. There's none of that kind of shit. And he reaches.
This is not the voice I imagined for a Klaus.
I don't remember. This was like, fuck. This was like 18 years ago, dude. I don't remember shit that long ago. Holy shit, that was like 18 years ago.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's no big deal. I mean,
It's fair. You're right. If he'd be arrested by now anyway. Fuck,
exactly.
That was like, oh my god, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
Man, my head hurts.
Mark, how do you think I feel? I mean, my
You're like
what are you
you're
gonna
not
say?
that much older than me.
No, I'm not. But I mean, our 10th anniversary, our 10th anniversary reunion, whatever, 10-year reunion thing just came and went.
Fuck.
And I had some friends who asked me if I was gonna go, and I was like, I legitimately told him, I was like, no, anybody that I still talk to is the only people I want to like associate with. Everyone else can fuck off and die for all I care.
For real. Like the last
I stick by that. I don't. You
the
leave
only
this
the
in the
only
fucking
person from
episode.
my class, the only person from my class I still keep in touch with is fucking Jesse.
Yeah, and even that's kind of questionable. I mean,
It's kind of
I had to unfollow him.
some of the shit that he is.
All of his shit is just dumb army, like dumb
It
memes that only army people get. And I get it. Memes are
tells me.
supposed to be like perfect for your like group. And I understand that. I'm not upset that I don't get them. I'm just realizing that there's a lot of dumb fucking people in the army.
Oh, my favorite thing is it's even worse for the Marines though.
How? How would you know it's worse for the Marines?
Because I used to be stationed next to a Marine facility.
Fair enough.
So the thing is like everyone. The joke about the
I think
Marines
that's
is
how
they're
that
all
works.
stupid. What?
Oh yeah, you have to be a little stupid or crazy or both to go into the
Right.
Marines.
Yeah. So the jokes was the Marines were the dumbasses. The Army was the God, like they wanted to be military, but like they're not that
Uh-huh.
much smarter. You got the Navy, who all of them, it's basically a giant gay orgy on the ships.
Oh, sign
Uh,
me up, sailor.
the Air Force is like they drink Starbucks and they don't really do any real hard work. It's all desk work,
Oh, cool. So they're a high school girl that ended up becoming a secretary.
basically. And the then of course the Coast Guard is just a bunch of fucking lifeguards. Which, to be fair, it's nice to know that I've saved more lives per capita than the average person. Okay, so you know me. I like mythology and fairy tales and shit, right?
Yeah, this is becoming a very common topic with you.
Is it?
Yes. But
Is
it's
it
okay.
really?
'Cause yes, it is. It is very much becoming a common topic.
I remember we talked about like Olympus, but what else have we talked about?
A couple other things.
You know of Jack from fairy tales, right?
Like Jack Frost?
And Jack Be Nimble and Jack the Giant Slayer,
Oh, sure.
all of the Jacks. So
Yeah.
apparently, according to the origins of like this folklore, Jack, the different Jacks from all the different stories, is the same guy.
So Jack is essentially like the Mickey Mouse of fairy tales.
Basically, so like yeah, like I said, there's like Jack Be Nimble, the one that climbed the beanstalk. Um, there was Jack and Jill. Like they're all the same Jack, which means
So Jack is the most interesting man in the world.
essentially, yeah. And but the thing is when you factor in the thing about Jack Frost,
Uh-huh.
uh, Jack Frost is immortal.
Sure.
Oh, but the thing is like in the stories, like he started off. If the chronological order that I'm thinking of is accurate, Jack Be Nimble would have been the first part of it because he was like a child, right?
Yeah.
Then he killed a giant when he was in his youth because his mom was a broke bitch.
Yeah, sure.
At some point in the story, there's a version of Jack called Stingy Jack. Basically, uh, he's cheated the devil so many times that now he's not allowed to get into heaven or hell.
Oh, isn't that like the story of like that's a traditional Halloween story, isn't it?
I think so.
Like that's where like the whole idea of the jack-o'-lanterns come from?
No, that's a different story, but that still follows the same ongoing
Okay. All right, so I'm
story.
not too far off
Um,
bases.
It's the same guy. Then you got Jack and Jill because he now has a wife who fell down and broke her skull open. Oh, he
I
broke
thought
his
that
skull
was
open.
I thought that was his sister.
Specifies. It just says Jack and Jill.
All
But
right.
it could very well be sister, but I think it's because if you
I'll allow it,
think
but
about
I'm
it,
pretty sure.
Jack fell down and broke his crown. In my youth, I thought that like he just had a paper crown that he wore around. Really, he broke his skull open, which means he would have died.
Yeah.
Right.
His brains were splattered down the whole side of that hill.
What's green and red all over the side of that hill after Jack's fucking head blew up?
Yeah.
Then the next story, according to the chronological order, is the story of Jack O'Lantern, who is basically the Headless Horseman story. Is just a guy that got his head cut off because he was a bad bitch. And then the final final part is Jack Frost. So I think what it is just it's telling the story of this child who had such an intense and interesting life that when he died, he was just made immortal because of how fucking amazing he is.
Well, especially if you can't go to heaven or hell.
I mean, he's basically the Lobo of, fairy tales.
All right.
You
Heard
know,
it here first.
it's a hot take on the topic, guys. Lobo is Jack from the Jack and Jill, Jack Frost, Jack Be Nimble, you name it. Jack's been there.
Jack Mayhofer.
Yeah, Jack Mayhoff is the same guy. Oh my god.
All right.
So I got another fairy tale topic.
Oh, do
Kind
you?
of.
All right.
Another
Well.
not. I guess cryptid would be a good term.
Oh, I'm all about cryptids.
Kind of. Again, kind of. So
I love cryptids and tulpas. They're always interesting.
of the Tooth Fairy.
I mean, by story of the Tooth
Yeah.
Fairy, you mean the whole thing that you grow up hearing about, putting your tooth under your pillow and stuff? That Tooth Fairy?
Right. Right.
Yes, I've heard a thing or two about it.
You know how bones are just an extension of, or I'm sorry, your teeth are just an extension of your skeleton, right?
Hold on, if you're gonna say bones, you gotta say it like this: bones.
So you know how your teeth are just smaller segments of your skeleton, right?
Sure.
So they're basically just little bitty bones. I like to think the Tooth Fairies are just a smaller version of a much larger and aggressive version called the Bone Fairies.
Yeah.
Not like in the fun way where they fly up and fuck you in the butthole and then leave. Like the kind of just,
Whoa. What?
a Bone Fairy.
What kind of? Oh God.
There you go. The first and only horse crosses the finish line. Like, okay, but imagine...
You leave my horse. You leave my one horse alone.
But no, but think about this, really. You know how kids... maybe this was just me as a child. I don't know if you did this, too. When I was a kid, I found out that if you put your tooth under your pillow at night, you get a quarter or a dollar or whatever.
I hit the jackpot one year.
What?
So I was staying at a friend's house during a hurricane, so my parents were also with us, and we were riding it out. Well, I lost a tooth during this trip while we were staying with friends.
Right.
So I put the tooth under my pillow. Well, my parents put money underneath my pillow, but then also the people that I was staying with also put money underneath my pillow.
Look at you. Little
Yeah.
cheating the system ass little cheater.
And then I found out how cheap my parents were.
Well, what did your parents leave you?
$1,
How much did your friends leave you?
$5.
$2.
So I woke up and I had 6. Big, fat 6 one.
Big old stack of 6. So,
huge stack.
Here's what kind of child I was. I was very much money motivated at a very early age, which is really weird. What was the cooing?
This whiskey is oaky.
Tangy. Okay.
No, I mean, it's got some oak tannins. Oh, that's good. Drinking some good old Treaty Oak Ghost Hill, Texas bourbon. 125 proof.
But so I was a fucked up child, as I'm sure you can imagine.
You're
when
a
I
fucked
found
up
out,
adult.
exactly. When I found out that you could get money, tooth fairy coming and taking your teeth away, leaving you some money under your pillow, that's my shit. I was like, you're telling me every time I put a tooth under my pillow, don't get ahead of me on this.
It's too
That's
late.
money. Put my tooth under the pillow. Keep in mind, I did have a little bit more of a dumbass Utah accent, but so
I'm just imagining you just sitting there with a fucking thing of pliers just ripping teeth out of your fucking skull. Mom, look, I lost all my teeth. Tooth fairy gonna bring me some money.
was that fucking baby Arnold Schwarzenegger?
It's because
Mom.
you got blood that's also coming.
Mommy.
It's because you also have blood that's just pouring out of your mouth.
Mommy, I want the tooth fairy. No, so yeah, basically when I was,
Also, to suggest that you sounded like that as a child is not far off.
I think I was in the first grade when I lost my first tooth, and I actually didn't know that it was supposed to happen because, wow, I wonder why. So when my tooth came out, I tried to hide it.
You were in what grade when you started losing teeth? First grade.
Yeah. Why?
I'm just gonna say your body was holding on to those teeth.
And I started school at the age of 5.
Not first grade.
I did. I skipped kindergarten and
No, you
preschool.
didn't.
Bitch,
You're full of shit.
bitch. You really want to play this game with me? I've told you this story before.
Yeah, I do.
Brandon.
I don't remember hearing it, which
So
makes
when-
me think
okay,
it's a
so-
lie.
So when I was, the one thing I will say my parents did a fucking great job of was my like preschool like level learning type shit, right? I learned to read by the time I was 3 years old. I was doing simple mathematics by the time I was 6. So my parents I was going to preschool every day.
Most people are doing simple mathematics by 6.
I was doing multiplication.
No, you weren't.
Oh, I was doing multiplication by age 6. Maybe
The only
7.
multiplying you were doing was in body mass.
I was a little bitty scrawny fuck, okay? Now let me tell my story.
Okay.
Regardless, my parents, after paying for me to go to preschool for the first half of, I think I just turned 6.
I thought you said you skipped it.
Not like preschool. I'm sorry. They called it preschool. It was just daycare kind of shit.
That's preschool.
Oh. I mean, I went
Preschool is just daycare.
Exactly. So my parents were like, "Are you actually learning anything at daycare?" And I was like, "Not really." So they're like, "Okay." So they took me and they took me to the elementary school. It was like November, and they were like, "We want to start him in first grade." That we wanted to start him in kindergarten. So I would have been in preschool. They had me just skip. We're gonna have me to skip to kindergarten, and they're like, I don't think it's such a good idea to have him start this. We're halfway through the school year. He would be the youngest in his class. This, that, and the other. My parents were like, just let him try. Let him try to see how it is. And so they had me. They gave me like, I think it was a 2-day trial. Basically, Billy Madisoned me for a little bit. And
How old did you start first grade?
Huh?
How old did you say you started first grade?
I was 6.
Okay, well that's typical then, apparently.
Right, but I was starting halfway through the school year. So that was the issue here is when I would have started, had I started like at the beginning of the school year, I still would have been 5, so I wouldn't have been able to. My parents tried to cheat the system. So basically what happened was
Shocking that your parents would try
I-
to cheat the system.
fuck you. Those are my parents. You're talking about.
Yeah, I stand by my statement.
But
Your dad tried to get you to rope me into a pyramid scheme. I could say
we've already
whatever I
talked
want.
about that.
I
We've already
know,
talked-
and look, man. There are just some emotional scars that you can't work past. Some things you just have to wear with a badge of honor.
And you let me touch your penis. You heard it here,
Cross
folks.
that
That wasn't
bridge
a
when
no.
We'll cross that bridge when it comes.
So yeah, so they had me do like 2 or 3 day testing period, and at the end of it, they had me sit down and take like
Where the fuck is
an
this story
evaluation or
going?
something. You asked me. Did you ask
I
me?
asked you what?
Hold on.
We were talking about the tooth fairy, Mark.
Oh, you were giving me shit because of how late in my schooling I had lost my tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't ask you
was-
for a whole diatribe about your school history.
I mentioned that I was in 2nd grade when my teeth started falling out in mass, and you said
You said
that's
first grade.
Well, I said 2nd grade, and you said that's a little old, and I was like, wait, maybe I was in 1st grade, and you was like, that's still a little old. You were giving me shit about it. I got little baby dainty teeth. I can't do nothing about it. Anyway, started ripping out my teeth like a fucking crackhead, putting them under my pillow.
All right, so you do start losing teeth at 5 to 6.
The fucked up. You know what's fucked up is my teeth are the same size as they were before I lost my baby teeth. I'm not kidding. Like my bottom row of teeth, my sister was genuinely concerned about how small my bottom teeth are.
Hold on. Whilst I will agree with you that your teeth do appear to be a little small on the smaller side, that also just be because you're so much bigger than everybody. And I'm not talking about in size. I mean, you have a foot over most people.
No, I know that, but I've like, I went to the dentist a couple weeks ago for the first time in fucking who knows how long, and they were like, "You have very small teeth." And I was like, "I know."
Yes, a sore subject. Thanks for bringing it up. As you
like-
storm out
I'm
of
just
there.
like, no shit, Sherlock. I could have told you that. Fuck. Can I just pay my bill and get out of here now?
What am I paying you for?
So yeah, I ripped out a bunch of my
The
teeth.
doctor just looks at it and goes, see you showed up without your dentures today. That's very brave of you. And you're like, motherfucker!
It looks like you to eat the little baby corns when you go to the Chinese restaurants, don't you?
No joke, I have this odd affinity for baby corn,
Baby corn's fucking delicious.
which I found out is not actually baby corn.
What is it?
It's some genetically modified corn.
Well, let's be real.
It's
Every
like under...
corn that you're gonna eat is.
Yeah, but this is like specifically like this. That corn is specifically grown to be like that. It has nothing to do with it just being like, oh yeah, we're just shitty farmers and we didn't know that, you know, we just harvest our crop too soon. Also, I don't know why my guy's like from the Midwest or Canada.
That's where
Canada.
That is where corn comes from. Is the Midwest.
I mean, that's true. I did not realize how much. But did you notice that while we were in Illinois, that we did not hear anybody that talked like that?
That's fair. No, let's be
Not
real here.
one.
Nobody ever actually sounds the way they sound, or like where the stereotype is. Like,
Nope, I'm sticking hard to it that Texas is spot on.
that's the thing though, is I never met all that many people that have that Texas thing going on.
That's what you would call a southern drawl.
Southern drawl, that's when you get down to like Georgia and Mississippi.
You understand that also carries over to here.
Cornbread and giblets.
Fuck you, now I want cornbread and giblets.
Those are two things I can honestly say I've never had a craving for.
Have you ever had fried chicken gizzards before?
If it's fried and it's chicken, I'll probably eat it.
They're fucking good.
Anyways, when I was so like I said, when I was first found out that you could just your teeth under the pillow. I shit you not, I ripped out 4 of my teeth and then stopped because I physically couldn't handle any more pain.
Like, what the fuck are you, Tasmanian devil?
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I sat down on the. I remember I sat down on the garage floor. Grabbed. My parents were not home, and I got a pair.
You're like
of,
the fucking child from Where the Wild Things Are, but if you got into meth.
Yeah. Oh, I'm writing that down. That's a book I gotta write now. The Wild Things Are, but with meth. I wrote it down. It's happening now. Right. What? Okay. So yeah. So I was sitting on the floor of the garage, I remember I was cross-legged, sitting Indian style, as they called it back then. And I had a pair of my dad's needle nose pliers, and I just pulled off a couple teeth. And I was so excited. Get money from the Tooth Fairy. I just ran in and put these 4 bloody teeth under my pillow. And Mom and Dad got home later that day.
Security alert.
Mom, Dad, guess
Data
what?
breach
I lost some more
detected.
teeth.
Countermeasures
As I
initiated.
had this huge gap in my face that was still gushing blood. So what my thinking is
Unauthorized
if
index are
Bone
erased.
Fairies were real, and
Hold on, before you go and continue with this weird fairy
Intrusive
thing,
index are
I would like to
detected.
point out that I think I can pinpoint when your parents officially gave up on you as a
Another data
child.
block retrieved. One more to go.
was it the second
Status
time I pulled
update.
out a bunch of teeth?
Intrusive index are erased
You
from
did it?
system.
No, you did not.
Oh, I did.
You did
No,
not.
that's pain I'll never want to relive. That was horrible.
Sentry has detected active intrusive program.
To Dad, look, I lost a bunch of teeth. Well, I guess we should try for another one.
Your dad just turns and looks at your mom and is like, "Can we still put him up for adoption?"
Intrusive program detected.
Let's try again. Maybe we'll
You
get
know,
to
I
that
heard
right.
I heard about this theory that you can abort a child at any point during life as long as they're not an adult. I really think we should look into that. What do you
Memory
think?
retrieved.
I think we should just. There's Black Widows in this
Exit
house.
the simulation.
There could be a fire. Any number of things we could do to get rid of this child.
How about we put him into school a little bit earlier than we probably should have, and let's see if the other children make, I don't know, let's eat him.
It's like a fish tank. The bigger fish always eat the smaller fish.
Yeah, and your dad's sitting there reading Lord of the Flies, and you're like, there's a lot of really good ideas in here.
Oh my god. But yeah, I'd be the kind of kid that's like, oh my gosh, I could get $5 for a femur. I only need one of these, really. I mean, let's be real. The road there was better than the ending.
Bone Fairies are just repo men, but for body parts.
Oh god.
By the way, I recommend you go watch the movie
Won't
Repo
lie.
Men.
Wasn't that a musical?
There is a musical called Repo Men, the Genetic Opera, but there's another movie with Jude Law that's called Repo Men.
Okay, I didn't know
Repo
those were two
Man.
different things.
No, they are two different things, and one you will be very entertained by. The other one, when you watch it, you will go, I thought this was supposed to be a musical.
So, Brandon, we've talked about SpongeBob on this podcast before, right?
Several times.
Especially the one pertaining to pornography.
Yes.
So, specifically SpongeBob pornography, I should, because we talk about porn pretty much every episode. It's just inevitability.
And we're keeping on brand.
Always.
Certainly talking about it again.
We're not this one's not actually about porn, surprisingly.
Oh.
So you remember the episode of SpongeBob, the bully, right? With Flats.
Yes.
So you know how Flats just kind of shows up and wants to kick SpongeBob's ass for apparently no reason.
I'm gonna kick your butt.
Kick your butt. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a reason. And you have to like dig deep to kind of, or you have to like revisit a lot of stuff to understand what it was. Back in the first season of SpongeBob, they did an episode that was Sandy's Rocket.
Yes.
where they think they're in space and they abduct basically everybody in Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Flats is one of the people they kidnapped.
That's right, he was.
So my theory, and that, like I said, that took place in season 1, and the bully episode took place in season 3. So Flats never forgot, and Flats never forgave, and now he's gonna, and now
kick your
fucking 26 years ago, he's gonna kick his butt.
Yep.
So for those of you fans out there listening, now you know. Read a book. Is that a dick thing to say to our fans?
Yeah, it is. That's as insulting as fucking Tobey Maguire at the end of the Spider-Man on the PlayStation 2 video game telling me to go outside after I beat the last boss.
Well, look at Mr. fucking Moneybags over here having Spider-Man 2 and beating
No,
it.
Spider-Man 1 on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, I had Spider-Man. I think I did have Spider-Man 1 for the PlayStation 2.
I had both of them, don't get me wrong.
I never beat it. I think I always got stuck in Shocker.
That's fair. It was either Shocker or I would get stuck on Scorpion.
Yeah, I could see that. Neither of which were particularly well-designed characters on that game. Nothing really was.
I don't necessarily agree with that statement. I kind of liked the take on them.
Well, to each their
Also,
own.
because I really liked the idea, because I thought they looked really good. Also, Vulture is in that game.
You're right. I remember Vulture in that game very briefly.
And they crammed a lot into that video game, and they gave each of the little villains, at least some sort of a storyline.
Yeah, they did it. I will say that they did a really phenomenal job with that. On the topic of the Spider-Man games,
yes,
man, we talk about Spider-Man games a lot, don't we?
It's okay. I will talk about them all day and all night. Before we change topics,
Yeah, go.
What you call it? All the unlockables in that game are so incredible. Being able to play as Harry, finding the Green Goblin gear throughout the entire game is so much fun.
I never did any of the unlockables like that. I just
My goodness, Mark.
like I said, I didn't get very far in the game.
You get to fly around on the glider and throw pumpkin bombs and everything.
That's fucking rad.
You can spam the shit out of bad guys and just destroy bosses. You just fly up, hover over them, and just drop bomb after bomb.
That's fucking incredible, and I wish that I had known about that in my youth. The other Spider-Man game.
And also, before we change gears, one more thing about the unlockables. You can unlock the... the difference is when you find the gear, you're not going against the Green Goblin, you are going against the Hobgoblin.
No fucking way.
Yes. And it is... I want to try to find pictures of it since we're sitting here talking about it.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, dude. It seriously. But the other thing is that you can unlock in the game is the Alex Ross Spider-Man suit that they ditched for the movie. Alex Ross had a concept suit, and I always loved it because it was black and red. Well,
Holy
they
shit!
brought
It's
back,
Superior Spider-Man.
yeah, it's the Superior Spider-Man suit. That suit was pitched for being in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie.
Holy shit! They even, oh my god, in his sketchbook, he even drew something like this and said too much black.
Yeah, that was and it was funny because that was the actual comments. They're like, we can't use this. It's too much black.
Dude, this suit's fucking awesome. Why wouldn't they have used this?
It's Spider-Man's first big movie. You got to put him in
Just
a
change the
classic.
black to a blue.
Yeah,
the
I'm
thing, though,
glad. I'm glad they didn't, because if they did the red and the blue, it would have looked too much like Superman.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm annoyed that there's no screenshots of it.
Right? I'm on Google. I typed in Spider-Man PS2 Hobgoblin, and it's pulling up Ultimate Spider-Man, fucking Amazing Spider-Man, which was Wait, are you sure it was in the Spider-Man 1 or was it in Spider-Man 2 or 3?
No, it's in Spider-Man 1 because the Goblin had a black hood and had a different voice.
Interesting.
And it might have just been the regular Hobgoblin voice that they ended up just doing like a voice changing thing on it.
So, did you ever play the other Spider-Man game from like the late 90s?
The one from PlayStation 1?
For PS1, and I think they also did it for the N64.
For N64? Which one? Are you talking Spider-Man, Enter Electro?
No. The one that was just Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I played the shit out of that game.
Dude, my favorite part of that game was just how many ridiculous fucking suits you could get. And like
it set the standard for Spider-Man games to have ridiculous unlockable suits.
Dude, it set the standard for superhero video games in general, I think.
Yeah.
Like the final boss was fucking symbiote Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Like as a child, I creamed in my shorts, okay? I had diarrhea when I was playing it, but that's beside the point. Like the number of suits you could play in was amazing. Like you had like
it was amazing.
Like you had the Ben Reilly suit, you had the Scarlet Spider Ben Reilly suit, you had Captain Universe or whatever the fuck it was called. Like the number of suits they had for it was fucking incredible. Oh,
There we go.
They just don't make them like they used to, I guess.
No.
I will say, that's one of the things I love going back is revisiting old video games because like the shit that you played as a child tends to hold up just as well now. Like sure, the graphic quality's not as great. Like fucking Venom in that game looked silly as fuck looking at him now. But like the gameplay
it's
itself
so
was
over the
amazing.
top, but it's very much of that era, and I love it.
Exactly, and honestly, I would, I mean, motherfucker, we're gonna when we get our YouTube channel started up and like when we're actually living within, you know, not 4 states away, we're gonna play this game on our YouTube channel because
fuck yeah. I'd love to go through all the Spider-Man games.
no, you don't want to go through all of them, but I promise you, there's some that are bad.
Oh, I know they're bad.
Hold on, I think it was the Return of the Sinister Six game for the Game Boy Advance, or the Game Boy rather, was so
I'm not
bad.
talking about those.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Those
No.
are the bad ones.
See, I'm even talking like let's play Spider-Man Friends and Foes.
Oh God, that would be hard to do.
Yeah.
Friends or foes. God damn. Like, I mean, that the idea of this game had so much potential, and they fucked it up so bad.
Yeah.
Like when you have games like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance and the X-Men Legacy games, or Legends games, not Legacy, that perfectly did what this game tried to do. Yeah, and you fucked it up. Like that end of story. You fucked it up.
Yep. The other game that we got to do is the Ultimate Spider-Man
Yes,
on a PlayStation
absolutely.
2. That game was so awesome.
Viewers and listeners, I guess right now as listeners, if you have any games that you'd love for us to do together, let us know, because we want to do this. We want to be gameplay guys as well as podcast guys. Oh my God! In fact,
The way you phrase that, it makes me hurt inside.
why?
I don't know. I just hated it.
We're going to be Let's
We
Players,
too want
guys.
to be the Let's Players.
We're going to play it. Let's do it together.
It is so annoying to me that I cannot find any pictures.
Are you sure
of
this isn't just a
alternate
fucking
Green
fever
Goblin?
dream?
No, dude. I promise you, it's not. I bet I'll have to find a fucking video of it.
Also, I don't know if you heard this, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for some fucking crazy news?
Sure, I'll take some crazy news. Why not?
When you think of modern video games, what's the last like game series that you just like, or not game series, but like the last company that you would think would be making a new console right now?
Sega.
Fair. Okay. What other one comes to mind?
Google.
Google make
'Cause-
consoles?
Well, they tried the Google Stadia.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah, that's how successful it was.
All right. So we'll just skip the guessing game here. Atari is releasing a new console.
That was literally going to be my next guess.
Atari is so apparently during the PS5 launch party or whatever, Atari came out and was like, "Yep, we're launching a console." So it's basically, I mean, it's one of the PS Mini where it comes with multiple games on it, but it's coming out with 100 games built in, like 100 of the classic Atari games.
So are they doing like one of those like special release thing, like the Nintendo 64 Mini?
I honestly can't tell. Like, it looks like an Atari. Like, it comes with the Atari like Mini, the Joy-Con thing or what joystick thing, but it also has like a regular fucking controller now.
Okay.
It's called the Atari VCS. I have no idea what the difference is, like what it's going to be like, and I'm honestly like I'm intrigued because most of those minis like they're like, you know, $100, $150, right?
Sure.
But this thing's coming out for pre-order for $389.99.
Jesus Christ.
With 3 different colors, like 3 different color options, which to me means like I don't know if they're going to be making this huge improvement or if they're just like like one last desperate cash grab.
I don't understand, you know, like why. I mean, maybe
like, Atari hasn't
behind it. Maybe there's actually something like really cool going to come of it. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to look forward to this for a while. So, but we'll see where that goes. So, guys, one thing that we want to really just drive home is it's fucking voting season. Go out and vote. Like,
yeah, it's coming up. I mean,
sure
you know, a lot of places are finishing up their early voting.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I submitted my ballot last night. Like I did mine and mailed it out. Fun thing is, like, we know we talked about this way back. Like, I'm talking like fucking months ago about how Kanye West is running.
Did you see that he's on some of the ballots?
He was on my fucking ballot.
Holy shit.
What did you find in my memory?
God damn
bank?
it.
Yeah, like I was.
There are just some people. Like, please don't waste your vote.
Your memories.
I don't want to. I hate saying like, oh, you know, if you like, it's a vote wasted. Blah. No, I don't normally like saying that, but for this, I will absolutely say it, and I will scream it from whatever fucking rooftop you want me to.
Here's the thing: is
a vote for Kanye is a vote thrown away.
Exactly, but here's the thing: is there is for those with mail-in ballots, at the top of the ballot, it has a website that shows which of the candidates are still actually running. Kanye West is not still running. He has dropped out of the race. If you waste a vote on Kanye West, you are literally throwing your vote right down the shitter.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it don't vote for Kanye because it's fuck Kanye. I'm saying don't vote for Kanye because he's not running anymore.
Yeah.
Don't.
Have you reconsidered handing over the evidence of Avery's?
Also, even if you vote for him and he gets a shit ton of votes in your state,
One of your memories.
he's not running in enough states where he would get enough votes from the Electoral College to even make a difference.
What have I done?
Exactly.
So you're literally throwing away a vote for a lull. Good job. What do you think about bacon-wrapped Oreos?
Far Harbor.
I saw that post that your wife shared, and I commented on it. No, I didn't. I commented on something else, but I saw that post. I know what you're talking about.
I was going to say, Key posted it and she commented on it.
Yeah, that was my bad. I commented on one of your other wives, on your wife's other posts, not one of your other wives' posts.
My other wives?
Yeah.
I moved to Utah with you.
Polygamy is not legal in here anymore. Hasn't been legal for a while.
Tell that to the show Sister Wives.
So my thought on
can't
bacon-wrapped
stand
Oreos is,
You are right.
why the fuck not, man?
Very
Like, look, we deep fry Oreos. We fucking have 87,000 different kinds of Oreo flavors. Like, what's one more thing you do to Oreos, man?
I'm against it.
Oh, you can be against it. We don't have to agree on everything,
And
Brandon.
if their
Yeah,
judgment
I'm
is to
against it.
Yeah.
I'm open to a lot of
care what
culinary
justification
interpretations and a lot of different things, but
all right.
I'm not for it.
You know what? That's okay, Brandon. That's totally fine. You don't have to come to my next wedding where I'm going to have bacon-wrapped Oreos. I understand.
Well, that's if you even invite me to this one.
Look, motherfucker, I didn't invite you to the last one because we were in a weird place because the last time we talked was me saying, hey, why don't you join my pyramid scheme?
And your dad lurking behind you, licking his lips.
God, fucking damn it. If for more information about that incident, guys, go check out our episode Pyramid Scheme Fuckery.
And I think I've mentioned it one other time before.
Yeah. The big chunk of the story was on pyramid fuckery, and we had our good friend Jeff on the show, who
also talked about some pyramid fuckery.
We all talked about some pyramid fuckery that day. But guys,
hey, it's not often that two people get to talk about a story they share about one trying to get the other into a pyramid scheme and it not being in court.
And to be fair, the two remaining friends, after all is said and done with that event.
Yeah.
Continue